Hi, I'm Rosh from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we dive headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat with industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities, asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal is zero carbon future. Today, I'm very, very happy to be joined by Cam Taylor, Head of Energy Solutions at Momentum Energy. Hey, Cam, how are you?
Good morning. Great to be here.
Mate, I am so happy for you to join me. You are actually about to become a TV celebrity, by the way. So I've seen some of your filming that's coming up on this Saturday, 4 p.m. on Nine Live. And, mate, you're pretty good on camera.
That's very kind. I haven't seen it myself. Some of my colleagues have seen it and they've said that, I just need to look out for it when it comes up. So that's on for my weekend, I think.
Well, I think you'll be very impressed with yourself, and I'm sure our audience will be very impressed too. So, guys, for anyone who's listening and watching today, we are obviously promoting our TV show Energy Matters that commences episode 1 this Saturday, 4 p.m. on 9 Life. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We've got some amazing brands being featured, none more so than Momentum Energy. So we're really thrilled that Momentum have been an amazing part of ours throughout this entire season of Energy Matters, and have some incredible projects and some incredible products that they offer to both residential and business customers. So we'll explore some of that today as well. Cam, before we get too into it, I just want to ask you a couple of cool questions about yourself. I know my audience loves to know the person behind the brand. So can you tell me a little bit more about you and what led you to Momentum Energy?
Yeah, sure. So, my career started in finance quite a while ago now, and I remember when I first started, finance was great, but really wanted to get into sort of impact investing and whatnot, and so out of finance, I'd spent some time at Octopus in the UK, which is a sort of big energy retailer and technology provider, and I was there for 5 years or so. Got stuck into renewable energy, Scottish and English solar farms, and the rest was sort of history. So spent a bit of time there, and came over to Momentum a few years ago, and now head up there what we call our energy solutions products. So yeah.
Well, how did you get to the UK? So were you just traveling, or did you go there specifically for work?
I met my wife in Melbourne actually, and she grew up in Wimbledon. So followed her back there and spent the obligatory 2 years in London, which was great. The visa ran out, and then came back here. So with Octopus for 2 years in the UK, and then a few years out in Melbourne. But yeah, it was great to get exposure over there. Think particularly on the renewable side, they're a few years ahead. So it's almost being over there, seeing what was happening, and then coming back over here and seeing the UK, what it was like a few years ago. But it was great.
No, good man. I mean, I'm obviously originally from the UK myself, so look, I'd like to say they are ahead of us, but to be fair, driving across the UK in my last trip, there's wind farms everywhere, onshore, offshore, lots of solar farms. I mean, it's amazing to see in such a small continent that there's so much going on. But we're catching up, and I know you, and you're in Hydro Tasmania, but behind you guys, backing you all the way. I mean, it's incredible to see what Momentum Energy are doing here in Australia. Cam, we're going to play, as I said at the very beginning, we are obviously here to talk about the TV show this week, which is amazing. I just want to show our audience, anyone who can watch this, you're going to get to see a little clip of this week's episode. Anyone who's listening to this, I apologize. There are some words, so have a listen and see what you think. Cam, I don't think we've got you on this one, mate, but certainly it is showing the project.
So this building has no gas plumbed in. It's 100% electric, powered by Momentum Energy. For Nightingale, this is incredibly important. We've got solar panels on the roof. They provide a lot of power for the building, but not quite enough. The rest we get from Momentum Energy. We always purchase 100% certified green power. Now for us, that's important because it sends out a message to the government and to other people in the industry that we need to strive towards a carbon-free future. So renewable energies for us is the most important thing in our buildings.
Mate, that's pretty awesome. So, look, and once again, I'm saving the best to last, Cam. So you're now in anticipation, thinking, "Where am I? What do I say?" But that's coming on Saturday. You're gonna have to be patient. So, Cam, can you tell me a little bit more about how Momentum Energy is supporting Nightingale in this particular instance?
Yeah, sure. So we've been working with Nightingale for a while now. We provide them with one of our products, which is called the Corporate Power Purchase Agreement, CPPA. And as it was mentioned in the clip, Nightingale have solar at their residence. They are able to produce a lot of the energy that they use, but what they don't, they take from the grid. And whilst they can't control what electricity is coming in from the grid, because it's whatever is available at the time, what our product does is it matches any usage from the grid that Nightingale uses with electricity that's produced at Granville Harbour Wind Farm, which is it's got 31 turbines on the west coast of Tassie. And what we do is we match it up. So whilst they can't have a big wind turbine on their roof, we're able to essentially offset any of that grid usage with that from Granville Harbour. And so it's a really great way to be able to support a specific project. And the idea is that by supporting these projects like Granville Harbour, it means that we're able to make sure that, future construction of renewable assets are going to be there. So, yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible. I mean, when I think about it, there's, obviously as Energy Matters, we're there as a stand, for all homes and all businesses to install, solar panels, renewable energy technology where they can, right? So we love to see every single panel covered with solar panels. Now, I know there's impacts to that as well, as I'm learning whilst making this TV show about, how much the grid can actually, handle. And there's another conversation there. But really one thing that I absolutely love about what you're doing with your CPPA is really taking advantage of, opportunities to install large scale, utility scale renewable energy, like, you have done with Granville, and be it with wind farms or solar farms. And then with the electricity or the power that you're creating there, that's, going to be fed back into the grid, be able to then come up with these initiatives to be able to say to another organization, a building, those who can't install solar power or haven't got enough to have more consumption than they can actually fit on their own premises, and say, look, you have to buy power from the grid, and we all know that could be a combination of whatever's going into the grid, be it coal or wind or hydro or, solar. But essentially, we have got an asset that is producing X amount. And as you said, we can offset, what you're actually buying from the grid with the asset. I mean, tell me typically about more sort of organizations that you would work with and this would actually work for.
Yeah, so Nightingale is just one of the organisations that we work with, and what's really good about this product is that so Momentum buys significant amount of electricity from Granville Harbour, and so whilst we're able to provide that, we're able to buy that from Granville Harbour, and then we're able to sell that to tens or hundreds of different individual customers that wouldn't be able to go direct to the wind farm itself. But I think where this product has sit really well is for customers like Nightingale that want to be able to offset some of their usage where they can't generate enough renewable energy to cover their usage. And so that's where it's been a really good sweet spot. The product's available for what we call our commercial and industrial customers. So these are the sort of the slightly larger users of electricity. We don't have it available for residential or small to medium-sized businesses at this stage. And we've seen some real interest, particularly over the last few years, as there's been sort of more awareness of, what's happening on the grid, where are we able to source our electricity from? And so we've seen that real interest, grow.
No, which is amazing. So I don't want to put you on the spot, mate, but I'm going to, feel free to decline to answer this one. But so as an organization watching this today, I mean, I know there is obviously a sweet spot in terms of how much consumption, what the consumption looks like. Is there like a criteria that you can say offhand as to anyone watching today, if you're using this much electricity, that you potentially be a candidate for this product?
No, Sorry. No, look, it's really flexible, and we have fairly small sort of restrictions or criteria to meet to be able to be eligible for this product. And the idea is that we don't just want it to be the really, really big consumers of energy that's able to access it. So we really try, as I mentioned, these customers can't go to wind farms like Granville Harbour directly to procure their energy. They need to go through the likes of Momentum. So we try and make it as accessible as possible. And so I'd say the best way would be getting in touch with our account managers at Momentum, just via the website, can talk you through, whether it's something we can offer your business. But we do really try and make it as accessible as possible. And whilst Nightingale have 100% of their grid usage via Granville, we can do much less than that. So really, whatever fits the budget or the needs of the customer.
Which is amazing. So you literally can get to a scenario where you can say, look, I like this percentage of my electricity to come from an asset. And,
that's right.
Yeah, which is awesome. Is there a? I'm going to ask you another question. You may decline to answer this one as well. But is there a financial? I mean, I'm assuming it'd be more expensive to buy electricity from an asset.
Yeah. It is, yes. So as part of the CPPA, what the customer's getting is the electricity itself. So we're buying that from Granville Harbour, and we're making sure that any of that usage is offset in that way. But it's also large-scale generation certificates. So these are certificates that essentially say that the energy is being procured from a renewable energy site, and they do hold value. So there is a cost to the customer. Like I said, that's why some customers don't go for the full 100% from the grid. It could be 50% or even less.
No, makes complete sense. So Cam, other questions I have for you just regarding Momentum is obviously the first port of call for anyone watching today or listening is, if you have obviously been inspired by what you see on TV today and obviously from this conversation, then certainly do reach out to Momentum, CPPA, and just say, look, can you tell me a bit more about how it could help my business and what's the criteria? Cam, why else do you think it's important for people to better understand their energy and how they can make a difference?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really good question. I think what Momentum's trying to do, what our team's trying to do, our energy solutions team, trying to come up with new ways to make it as easy as possible for customers to be able to, reduce their carbon impact. I think what we've found over the last few years is there's a lot of different solutions that you wouldn't even think of. So I think part of our job is to try and come up with ideas and try and make the businesses or the homes really understand that you don't have to completely electrify your home, or you don't have to have the biggest solar and battery system you can find. There's lots of different ways that you can take those small steps towards reducing or becoming net zero. So I think it's certainly, from our perspective, it's about coming up with those ideas and solutions, and it's not always the most obvious that can have the best sort of bang for buck.
No, and that's one thing I'm starting to realize through the process we've gone through working with you guys is that I've always known Momentum Energy to be really ahead of the curve in terms of innovation and just thinking and strategic thinking, but really coming from a place of absolute sort of passion for the environment and really wanting to help people on that journey. So kudos to you guys, which is why you're such an amazing partner for this particular TV show. But really, it is that innovation inside of, there isn't one box that, one hat that fits all, and there really is so many different ways of, sort of achieving a simple sort of, going towards the same outcome. I mean, fundamentally, we all want to achieve net zero. We want to leave this planet in a better shape than we found it. And I think, what's really, impressive about Momentum Energy is you have a range of different products and services for homeowners, business owners, utility scale, just with your relationship, obviously, with hydro as well. It's just such a incredible dynamic that, really there's just something, as you said, something for everyone. So that is pretty cool, Cam. I mean, I'm going to ask you for what you may or may not share once again, but any spoiler alerts as to what's new and in the pipeline from Momentum Energy?
Yeah, sure. So there's a few solutions that we've got in the works across home and business. So we've got a plan for our electric vehicle customers, which we're looking to really expand out. relatively soon. And then we've also got a product which is for business customers, which is essentially allows them to virtually share their solar with other sites within the business, or to sell it to businesses outside of their network. So that's a bit of a focus for us at the moment. So watch this space.
Absolutely. Well, look, there's you kind of touched on virtual solar sharing, and spoiler alert, check out episode 3. Anyway, but Cam, thank you so much for joining me today, mate. You've been an absolute pleasure, and look, I'm super excited to see this week's episode. Making your breakthrough on national television, and soon to be winning an ARIA, no doubt. But Cam, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, guys, you heard it here first. It's going to be an absolute epic week ahead. This weekend, Channel 9 Live, I should say, this season, 4 p.m. So Saturday, 4 p.m. It's going to be incredible. The first episode of Energy Matters, and this will be featuring Momentum Energy and Nightingale Housing that they're supporting through the CPPA, as well as lots of other incredible projects. Guys, it's never too late to go green and go solar, as you said. As we said in this particular podcast, there are opportunities available to you to think outside the box if you're not unable to install solar power in your own home or business. That being said, if you have got a roof space and you have got the ability to install solar and you haven't already, then jump onto our website at energymatters.com.au/free solar quotes, or just click one of the shortcuts you see on our website to get yourself a quote for solar. I would also urge you to also get a quote for battery as well while you're there, so you can at least see how it's come down in price. It's got super affordable. When you're considering who to pick as an energy retailer if you were to move home or move business, I would certainly recommend Momentum Energy, and it's definitely worthwhile jumping on their website and getting a quote to see see what your electricity rates or gas rates, if you have got gas in Victoria, would actually change, would be quoted at. Joining Momentum Energy, and explore their green plans as well, because you've got nothing to lose by having a look and reducing your carbon footprint even further. That all being said and done, thank you so much for your attention today. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, or for you watching on Saturday at 4 p.m. and I'll look forward to joining you next time. See you later.